Have you ever wondered why we reach for that brightly colored snack pack, knowing it's not really food? Or why we can't seem to stop once we start? In his eye-opening book, Ultra-Processed People, Why Do We All Eat Stuff That Isn't Food? And Why Can't We Stop? Dr. Chris Van Tulleken takes us on a journey into the world of ultra-processed foods, or as our parents used to call it, junk food. But what exactly is ultra-processed food? According to Van Tulleken, it's more than just junk food. It's a product of industrial alchemy, designed not just to be eaten, but to be overconsumed. These foods are engineered with low-cost ingredients and additives, making them cheap and irresistible. Yet they come with a hidden cost to our health and well-being. Van Tulleken doesn't just rely on research, he puts his own body to the test. He spends a month eating nothing but ultra-processed foods, and the results are alarming. Weight gain, constant cravings, and a sense of physical and mental doom. This isn't just a diet experiment, it's a wake-up call. He argues that the rapid rise in obesity since the 1980s isn't just about sugar, fat, or calories. It's about how these foods are processed to trick our senses and override our body's natural signals, leading to addictive eating habits and serious health consequences. The scariest part? We're surrounded by these ultra-processed foods, from breakfast cereals to energy drinks. They're everywhere, hiding in plain sight, packaged as convenient, tasty options that fit our busy lives. But behind the marketing, these products are engineered for profit, not nutrition. Ultra-processed people isn't just a critique of our food choices, it's a critique of a system that prioritizes profit over health. Van Tulleken warns that our reliance on these foods is not only making us sick, but it's also eroding our cultural traditions, shrinking our faces, and even putting us at risk of future pandemics. So, what's my take on this book? Ultra-Processed People is a compelling and necessary read. Van Tulleken's deep dive into the science of ultra-processed foods is as disturbing as it is enlightening. He manages to break down complex scientific concepts into digestible pieces, making the reader realize just how much we've been conditioned to accept food that isn't really food. What I appreciate most is how Van Tulleken blends personal experience with hard-hitting research. His month-long experiment adds a layer of authenticity and urgency to his message. It's one thing to read about the dangers of ultra-processed foods, but seeing the toll it takes on someone's body and mind really drives the point home. However, the book isn't without its flaws. At times, Van Tulleken's tone can feel a bit alarmist, and his focus on corporate greed, while justified, might overshadow some of the more nuanced discussions about personal choice and societal pressures. But these are minor quibbles in an otherwise powerful narrative. Ultra-Processed People challenges us to rethink not just what we eat, but how we approach food as a whole. It's a stark reminder that the convenience of ultra-processed foods comes at a cost, not just to our health, but to our culture, our environment, and our future. So, if you're ready to change the way you eat, and maybe even the way you think about food, I highly recommend giving this book a read. Ultra-Processed People by Chris Van Tulleken is not just informative, it's transformative. Are you ready to take the first step? Ultra-Processed People by Chris Van Tulleken. Available now. Take control of what's on your plate.